Welcome into the Wednesday edition Blue Sky Live. We're here with you this morning. Chase Parham, Neal, McCready, Clark Ford Studio. We'll talk Ole Miss and South Carolina coming up tonight, 6 o'clock from the Colonial Life Center there in Columbia. Gamecocks have played some close games, but they are winless in the SEC heading into this evening. Ole Miss obviously 7-4 in the SEC. They have a home date with a reeling Mississippi State team a little bit on Saturday, 5 o'clock in that one. And Ole Miss looking for, I think it's 19th overall win of the season. I think they're 18-6 if I have that correct. So we'll do that. We had Baseball Media Day yesterday, and a few interesting notes from around the world of athletics as well. So that's set up for today on a show brought to you every day by Blue Sky locations throughout Mississippi, up and down I-55. They're out North Mississippi as well. They've got lunch specials, $5.69, couple sides, bread, any size fountain drink, and their Sweet Daddy's locations at most of those stops, ribs, pulled pork, and plenty more. And again, coming to you from the Clark Ford Studio.
We are Clark Ford's in Amory, Mississippi, 662-257-1900. Call that number. Ask for Corey Clark. Tell Corey what Ford product you're looking for. He'll send you a quote within 15 minutes in business hours. So going to get you right to the bottom line. No hassle, no haggle. Take your quote. The rest is kind of up to you. You can shop that quote around, of course. That's your prerogative. Or you can do what I've done, what I recommend that you do, and let's hop into a Clark Ford today. You will love the product. You'll love the service. Corey and the people at Clark Ford want to be your car guy. They want to be your truck guy. They'll prove to you what that means when you make the call, 662-257-1900. Guest join on the Campbell Clinic hotline. From fractures and sports injuries to complex spine and limb conditions. The pediatric orthopedic physicians at Campbell Clinic in Oxford are the only specialized pediatric orthopedic team in North Mississippi providing expert care for growing bodies. Visit CampbellClinicOxford.com to schedule an appointment or call 901-759-3111.
Another day full of showers. I feel like it's just like picking on us at this point because it rained all day, quit when it got dark outside, got back this morning, and then started right back, and it's raining all day again today until it gets dark.
Is that right?
Yeah. So daylight hours, we're just getting flooded right now. I know.
I heard it early this morning, and then I haven't really paid attention. I noticed it stopped raining. It stopped raining yesterday afternoon.
Yeah. Yeah, I think at my house it was like 6 when it quit, something like that. Because I got a little bit of a sputter at like 4:30 and was like, I can get a run in. And I was like, no, never mind. Mm-hmm. And if you're not training for something, you're not running in the rain. I'm like, I don't care that much. So I was like, no.
I'm gonna run on a treadmill today. I'm not getting out and running in that. There's no point.
Wet shoes, wet socks, get some blisters, whole deal.
Just the whole deal. And it's cold. Your hands get cold. It's cold.
So we're getting a lot of basketball today, but I'm wondering if you think this is some kind of turn. We've talked a lot about court stormings. We had a big conversation about that last week, 2 weeks ago, whenever it was. And where we always come back to is ESPN glorifies it. And thus they continue to happen. And you can't, on one hand, go, oh, terrible, terrible, terrible. On the other hand, go, well, my corporate partner makes commercials out of it. So that is where you're sitting right there.
Yep.
So Greg Byrne has an idea and a theory, the LM Athletics director, that we're a ways away from implementing because it's harsh. But I'll get to the Sankey part at the end of this that I do find the compelling portion of the story. Burns says he does not believe a financial penalty, no matter how large, will curtail court and field stormings after big wins. I agree. Instead, he said it's time to consider the ultimate stick, an automatic and immediate loss for the home team. He wants you to actually lose the game if your team storms the court. Again, I don't buy it. We're a long way. Not really the point of the conversation, but that's what Greg Byrne is.
Well, so far my reaction to this is first world problems.
Well, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
I'm struggling to get my animus up on this.
Byrne also comments, quote, it's hard to think you can have enough security to hold back thousands of people that want to get on the field. Very true.
Absolutely.
You can have a show of force of it, but at the end of the day, when those folks come and get on the field, it's hard to push them back. True.
Again, let me interrupt for a second.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be real on this.
Uh-huh.
A security guard that works game security makes, what would you guess, an hour?
$10. I don't know.
Okay, I was going to say.
I'm making it up.
Yeah, let's just double that.
Sure, I don't know.
$20 an hour. His shift is probably, let's say the kickoff is at 6 p.m.
It's like 3 o'clock probably.
Till 10.
Sure.
So 7 hours.
Sure.
At $140 is what he's going to make for that. It's okay. I'm not criticizing.
Not a bad afternoon, but
Thank you for coming to work. Now, is that worth risking life and limb over? No. The answer is no. Let me fill you in on the answer. He's not armed. It's not worth going to jail beating the hell out of some kid. So you do the best you can, but at the end of the day, you can't. How many of them are there? A couple hundred?
Security guards?
Yeah.
Tops. I mean, it depends on the sport. Basketball, not even that many. Hell.
I mean, so
you're just lining a court.
But the ratio is in favor of the security guard.
At least 10-1 student. Yeah.
You're going to lose. So there's nothing you can really do about it.
Correct.
So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, just the whole – so keep going. I'm sorry. So far, I'm having a hard time at this. Go ahead.
So, he says, again –
This is Burn?
This is still Burn.
Okay.
Yeah. He said, that's why you have to, I believe, stop the original motion of getting them to the field. People say it's just a celebration. It is a celebration, but it's not a safe one. SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey talked about Burns' idea, said, quote, I think it's a tough proposition. I do think there's more than Greg in this league who feel that way, though. A lot of people want to make their TikTok videos in the moment. We've had visiting players approached and insulted pretty aggressively so somebody can make a video recording. These are not healthy realities. I've had conversations with the folks at ESPN. It would be helpful to start with if our media partners didn't glorify the moment repeatedly. We've had candid conversations about that, more coming. That certainly hasn't stopped our media partners from showing those moments.
Okay, now we're going somewhere. All right, I'm with him. I'm with Sankey. I think making a team take an L is not going to happen. So forget it.
Yeah, that's a very extreme.
I understand the sentiment, but it's not going to happen. So I'm not going to spend another second talking about it. Now we're getting into a cultural thing that I'm fascinated by. Okay.
Yep.
This desire to record you humiliating someone is something I don't understand. You know where I come from on this. I despise trash talk. I can't stand it from fans. You didn't do anything. You didn't play. You didn't score a bucket. You didn't gain a yard. You didn't make a tackle. You didn't do anything. So when you come on the field or the court or get on social media and trash the other team, I think there's something weird there. I know I'm in the vast minority on this.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
But I view it and I go, man, there's something weird there. Like if the Thunder is my team, right? I cheer for the Thunder. If the Thunder win, Chase, I didn't do it. So if I come on social media and go Thunder up, cool. That's fine. I'm cheering for my team. But if I go,
tagged 15 people.
They played the Grizzlies the other night, right? They played the Grizzlies.
Yeah.
If I'd gone after every Grizzly fan I know, take the L, bitch, or whatever, that's weird. But there's a lot of that in sports now. College, pro, people have tied their self-esteem into it. Listen, your degree, pick a school, any school, Alabama, your degree isn't worth more if Alabama wins. It's not worth less if Alabama loses. It's worth what it's worth. You as a human being are not better because your team won any more than you as a human being are worse if your team loses. Yet if you look at social media, you would absolutely think that people view it that way. It's way too personal, my opinion. And so people come on the field and if you're on the field celebrating, I mean, is it dangerous? I get what people are saying, but when you go after an opposing player with all sorts of, and the player, what's he supposed to do? If he hits you, he's in trouble. If he responds physically, he's in trouble. So you do the video. It's weird to me. The whole social part of that is something that I'll be honest, I can't relate to. I've never been able to relate to it. I don't understand it.
It's the convergence of all these relatively new phenomena at one time. Court storming is not overly old. That was not happening 3-4 decades ago for the majority of the games, or almost all the games.
I don't even remember when I first saw it.
So TV has brought that upon in some ways. Social media has brought that upon in some ways.
TV and social media has glorified it.
And just, you said it, and this is a much bigger conversation, but a lot of people do it simply because they want to get on the field, have that as their TikTok backdrop, and then post it on social media.
Yes.
It's the exact same as having to record every moment of your life and never have a memory or a significance at all.
100%.
Everything phones up in the air.
Everything.
Told you, I mean, I've been over this. I'm not only going to say it one time. It's why we like the Masters in some ways. There's no phones. It shocks our senses, and we go, oh, wow, people are just watching the freaking tournament.
You could be right. I don't watch enough golf to know that. But, yes, I mean, it's one of the things I observe all the time is
you see it in highlights.
Yes.
I went back the other day, I was watching some Yankees highlight from 2000, and you went, they're just watching the game.
Yes.
And it almost catches you off guard in the stands because you're not.
Yes. Everyone's doing it.
You were in the moment, you were in the place, you're there, and you watched and developed your memory off a 3-inch screen. That's how you did it. You watched through a screen.
You literally were in the arena to watch an event, and you're watching your phone because you're more obsessed with your video than you are the moment.
That's the problem. And look, yeah, it's not. I mean, I saw somebody saying pearl clutching. It's not really pearl clutching. It's that we are storming over stupid games now. It's not even like a number one upset. They're increasing like crazy. And while nothing bad has happened, it is one moment away from something being a really, 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 really big deal.
Sure.
A player getting hurt and that being it. Not being able to get them off the floor.
A player snapping.
Either way.
In a moment immediately following a game where there's adrenaline and emotion and who knows. I mean, that person has a life too. Maybe there's things happening in his or her life that lead to a snap when they otherwise wouldn't snap. And next thing you know, you've got a brawl and someone gets killed. I don't know. I've never, but like if you take Ole Miss for example, last year when people talk about the Georgia win, they always show the field storming. Always. The Katy Perry game in 2014, field storming. Everybody laughing and stuff about the goalpost and all that stuff. It was field storming. Nobody really goes, man, that drive. No, they show the field storming. It's Sankey's right that the networks absolutely not only glorify it, but they market it. People are saying we're pearl clutching.
Just one comment. We're good. Yeah, no big deal.
Oh, yeah, I don't really think I am. I think there's a societal thing that I'm not smart enough to put my hands on, to understand, to wrap my mind around it. But there's a thing about tying self-esteem to the accomplishments of people that you cheer for, but you didn't do it.
Oh yeah, you can tell me that I'm doing some big think piece, but I think it's a symptom and evidence of a much larger societal issue.
Yes. It's one of the reasons that I think, and you said this last year, I'll give you credit for it. It's one of the reasons you might not want this public.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
The whole NIL collective thing, people now, because they gave to the collective, any collective, I'm not just picking on Ole Miss, any collective, now they go, yes, I did play a role in this. I did it. I helped do this. Or when your team doesn't win, my money should have been utilized better. There was a lot of that. And I always said, well, it's kind of like St. Jude, right? If I give to St. Jude, I do it voluntarily. By the way, I recommend people do. They do great work. But that's not my point. But my point is this. So let's say I give to St. Jude every month. Nobody at St. Jude's going to pick up the phone and call me and say, Mr. McCready, we were wondering if we wanted to get your thoughts on this MRI machine that we're thinking about purchasing. It's cutting edge. We believe that it's going to do this. No, they don't do that. They just take the money and they do with it whatever they wish. And if I get to a place where I go, you know what, I don't, and listen, again, I've never, St. Jude's awesome. Let me be clear. I'm just using an example. If I get to a place where I think they're not utilizing my funds properly, I'll just stop giving. And there's nothing they can do about it. The collectives are the same way. No one makes you give to a collective. And if you decide to stop giving to the collective, there's nothing the collective can do about your decision to stop giving. I mean, I guess they could ask you to resume giving, but they're probably not coming to your house with a gun and a machete going, hey, you better give or else. So there's a self-esteem, and I see it all the time. It's wild. And I think it's social media. I think it's that, but it's probably something even deeper than that. I'm not smart enough.
Well, I think social
figure
media
that out.
increases the possibility of the thing that's deeper. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It leads to, it's a gateway.
Yes. But the reality is when you go to a game, I mean, look, I watch the Thunder. I enjoy watching the Thunder. They're very good this year. They have a historically good net rating. They're 43-9. They're young. I've cheered for the same guys for years. My son loves them. But Chase, if they win the NBA Finals, I didn't do it. I'll enjoy it, but I didn't play any role in it. It doesn't make it. It's no reflection on me at all, any more than if they lose in the first round to the Lakers. I didn't do it. I'll be disappointed, but I didn't do it. It's why I think maybe the like Carson's soccer career coming to an end was such an emotional thing for me, because it was actually something I didn't participate in it, but he did. I saw the work that he put in.
Right.
I know the sacrifice that he made. I know how much dedication he gave to becoming a better player, to trying to get his team to buy in, all of those things. I saw that. You know what I mean? I mean, but like the other part of it. So yes, so your point and Sankey's point, and I think they're right, is that it's not just a celebration. People are going out there so that they can get these videos, so that they can. I don't know.
It's a marketing moment in every micro and macro sense of the word.
Yeah.
Individual to organization.
Sure.
All the way up and down the line.
Sure. I mean, some of these schools.
So, yeah, I mean, Sankey, I mean, I agree with his comments, but if he really has a problem with it, the two biggest culprits are the ESPN and his own institution.
Yeah. Well, the schools market the court stormings, the field stormings. They do. I don't know. I don't know how you police it, though. I really don't. I think asking schools, I don't know what schools are supposed to do. I really don't.
No, I don't either. I don't know how to stop it. I mean, I think GJG in the stream had a good point. Streaking has been minimized to almost nothing because they stopped showing it.
Yeah.
So it is irrelevant. But the problem is you can't stop social media from showing it, which is where I think most of this is originating, not ESPN. Yeah. I don't think people are doing it because Dari shows it at 10:30 on a Saturday night.
No,
I just don't.
Because I agree with you, because to your point, I don't think kids are watching Dari at 10:30 on Saturday night. I really don't.
I just don't think that's what's playing into this.
I mean, maybe that's what's on the TV at Funky's or
but
Columbia version.
But they didn't go, hey, we got on SEC Network on their postgame show at 10:45. No,
I don't think that's what kids are watching at 10:45 on Saturday night. I don't. I think the people that are watching that show are old. I do. I could be wrong, but I'd bet money.
No, I think that's right. I mean, Feinbaum has a very old audience, and yet he's still one of the top 10 sports radio shows in the country because a lot of old people watch it.
Yeah, a lot of people 55.
They turn it on and watch the 3 hours. And
they sit and watch it. I can't imagine, but they do.
Yeah. Do what you want.
Good for Paul. Yeah, sure.
What's beeping?
For whatever reason, some notification thing's happening again.
Okay.
I've changed nothing in the settings.
No, you're fine. Thought it was me for a second. Doesn't appear so.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah, it's fine. Again, thought it was notable. Thought it was interesting. Byrne has no chance of getting that pass anytime soon, but we'll see if Sankey is a little more vocal. That's the first time he said that out loud.
Well, I wonder whether Greg would be for that if Alabama knocks off Georgia or something, and all of a sudden take the L. Come on.
You got a DNF. Sorry. Loss. Georgia.
Well, and again, I would.
I don't know how the college football playoff plays that, because the game control said one thing. Got a whole world here.
Well, and I would not be jealous of the officials having to. Someone would have to be the person that was the arbiter of that judgment. I wouldn't want to be that person. I don't think you'd want to be that person. The person is not making enough money to deal with the hell that would come from that.
Some of the reasons streaking got stopped, too, as you saw where the security guards would absolutely just pile drive them when they got hit. I mean, I'm getting my moment of fame, but I'm also getting a concussion when I'm doing it. Like,
Yeah, and so what happens to a security guard when he hurts somebody? He gets some civil suit. I mean, where
I
does
think some schools have people that now they haven't done it. Technically, are allowed to use a taser. Good luck on that on TV.
Yeah, that's not.
That won't be good.
I mean, and some listen. Some of those people don't need to be armed. You know what I mean? I mean, they're I don't know. Interesting. I'm the wrong person for this though, because it's a social phenomenon that I don't, not the crowd storming. I mean, this court storming or the field storming, just the whole thing, and it's so completely off my mindset that I can't relate to it at all.
Yeah.
And I struggle with it. You know that.
Yeah.
It's the fastest way to get blocked by me on Twitter.
Yeah. We'll get some hoops in a second. But I'll tell you about the Citizens Bank. So do every single day, not just an account number, but a valued member of their community. They're on Sisk Avenue for now, but they've got a new building coming for too terribly long. Stop by and visit 902 Sisk Suite E. Discuss your options with Whit Wilson, we tell you about every day, or any of their experienced bankers who value your unique financial journey and make every moment uniquely yours. Success is the top priority, whether you're there or while you're there. Be sure to ask about School Spirit debit cards. They donate an amount per every transaction to the local school of your choice, whether it's Oxford, Lafayette, or Regents. That's the Citizens Bank, PHILA.com.
Brought to you by Comer Heating and Air, Southern Air Conditioning and Heating, different names, same great people, products, and services. If you live in Oxford, Batesville, Tupelo, or the surrounding area, call Comer, 662-801-1777. If you live in Hernando, South Haven, Memphis, or the surrounding area, call Southern, 662-429-4429. Brought to you by Window Hero, from window cleaning to pressure washing, gutter cleaning, gutter guards, and everything in between. Window Hero has the experience, equipment, and expertise necessary to make your property look and feel brand new. If you're in North Mississippi, let Window Hero make your home or business's exterior look amazing. Their experts are fully bonded and insured. They provide specialized equipment, exclusive cleaning solutions, a satisfaction guarantee, and they can clean up to 4 stories on all buildings. So if you're in North Mississippi, get in touch with Roby and Susan Allen about your windows, your gutters, and everything in between. Call Window Hero at 662-510-7077 to get an estimate or learn more at windowhero.com. Are you retiring soon? How long should you wait to take Social Security? What accounts should you pull from first? Are you already retired? Should you consider Roth conversions? These are just some of the questions that can only be answered with a personalized retirement income plan. Andrew Sego with Sego Wealth Management specializes in helping folks just like you come up with their retirement game plans, whether you meet at his office in Collierville or you prefer Zoom from anywhere. Schedule a free discovery meeting and see what they can do for you. Maybe I don't have a camera on or something, or I don't know, maybe a camera's not working. Schedule a free discovery meeting, see what they can do for you. It's rebelsretire.com. Arnett's Fine Jewelry is a 4th-generation jeweler located in the old Lamons Jewelry Building on North Lamar Avenue in Oxford. They offer expert jewelry repair, diamond engagement rings, wedding bands, stackable diamonds, genuine stone bands, pearls, genuine color stones, diamond jewelry, and more. They are great for gifts. Valentine's Day right around the corner, obviously. Arnett's, they want to be your jeweler. Call Argent Wealth's 401k advisory services team today. They'll conduct a complimentary, no obligation benchmarking and analysis of your current 401k plan. Mention that you heard about Argent Wealth on the BlueSky Live. You get 10% off your first year's fees. It's myargentwealth.com. Yes, I am absolutely not a tech genius.
That camera just wasn't turned on. It's all good.
Yeah.
Podcast brought to you in part by G&M Pharmacy, 662-236-2222. They deliver locally in the Oxford area and offer medicine. Free prescriptions the same day each month and take care of you. One trip to the pharmacy, one delivery. You have everything you need when you need it. Also easy to transfer those medications. One phone call, they take care of the rest. So whether it's Holly Springs or Oxford, that's 662-236-2222. So let's see. We will start with Ole Miss, South Carolina. We get into last night and tonight as well. Several games finishing up the midweek. Ole Miss and South Carolina. Again, Ole Miss has a 69% chance to win per Ken Palm this evening. Ole Miss coming off those 2 straight wins, Kentucky and LSU. South Carolina, not so much. They are 10-13 overall, 0-10 in the SEC. There was a day where they were 10-3 in the SEC. 10-3 overall. Had a win over Clemson. Thought that they were decent. Had beaten Virginia Tech. It was not a bad non-con.
They are decent.
And then things went to hell in a handbasket. But as you said, there's been some close games in here. I mean, you look at their schedule, especially at home. They got routed the first 2 games of league play. They got beat by Mississippi State 85-50 and by Alabama 88-68. They had a lead against Auburn deep in the second half. It was basically possession by possession. In that game, Auburn pulls it out 66-63 after Carolina kind of spit the bit. Late, they lost 66-63, same score in Nashville to Vanderbilt. They got hammered by Oklahoma on the road. They lost 70-69 to Florida at home. Gators pretty good, so that's not a bad loss at all. 65-60 at home to Mississippi State. 76-72 at home to Texas A&M. So look, here's the common denominator. They don't know how to win games. They blow games late. They don't make winning plays in any capacity. But let me go through this again. Their last how many ever home games? 66-63, 70-69, 65-60 in overtime, and 76-72. They have not quit. Now, they got hammered at Rupp, but Kentucky's playing pretty well this week. Lamont Butler was back. That's a different Kentucky team.
Yeah, he got hurt again.
He got hurt again last night, but he was there for South Carolina. So it's not a gimme. Ole Miss favored by 4.5 tonight in this game. If you play well, you win, but I still contend they're not going to go 0-18. They're too good for that. They're going to beat somebody. You just don't need it to be tonight if you're the Rebels.
Yeah, I mean,
it's quad 2 game.
It's not the end of the world if they lose tonight. I know that's going to be in the moment, and if it happens,
because it'll be, hey, you lost to the 0-10 team.
Yeah. But they're better than 0-10. In a different league, they wouldn't be 0-10. So, look, I think tonight will be close. What's the line?
4.5. Rebels by 4.5.
That's probably about right. I think it'll be a close game. I think Ole Miss will win. If I had to pick it, I'd pick Ole Miss. If I had to bet it, I wouldn't bet it. I wouldn't touch it. I think if you made me bet it, I think I'd lay 4.5 if you just made me. But look, I mean, yes, it's a game. Ken Palm's about right, 69-70%, which
they're projecting 70-65 Ole Miss.
Yeah, it's about right. So if you told me it was 70-65 South Carolina, am I shocked? No, of course not. Not the end of the world. Going to be okay. But it's a game you need. It's a game you need to win, sure.
And it's a pretty good matchup for Ole Miss. South Carolina struggles on the offensive end. They're basically 150th nationally in offense efficiency. Now they're 43rd in defense. They play pretty good defense.
They're big.
But they turn the ball over like crazy. They are 291st in the country in offensive ball protection. That's not a good sign against the Rebels who turn you over.
Yep.
They also do not create turnovers. They are 278th nationally in creating turnovers.
Yeah. And Ole Miss just doesn't turn it over.
It's advantage Rebels in a ton of ways. And you better get those because of the rebounding thing tonight.
It's their biggest strong suit.
It is.
And then Ole Miss's biggest weak suit is rebounding still.
And percentage of the time they get the ball stolen from them, South Carolina is 338th nationally. They just hand it to you over and over and over and over and over again. Rebounding percentages are okay. They're 137th in offensive rebounding, 81st in defensive rebounding.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's not bad. But a lot of rough numbers. But the main thing is they just do not protect the basketball, and they don't hit free throws. And that's not the sign to win games. That's why they lose games late. They play okay. They've got the kid, whatever his name is.
Colin Murray Boyles.
There you go. They got him. Now he's not fully defined as a player yet, obviously.
No, he's still young.
His best days are ahead of him.
He's mocked anywhere from 8th to 15th in the draft. I think NBA people like his game. They worry that he's a little undersized. He's probably they just list him at 6'7". He's probably 6'6", maybe 6'5.5". Not the greatest shooter in the world. If you're gonna be small and relatively in NBA position, if you're gonna have a positional size disadvantage, you better be able to stroke it.
Yeah.
And I don't know that he's that guy yet, but he's a very talented player.
They are 262nd nationally in free throw percentage.
Well,
just
it's not good.
It's not a pretty picture. They've played a lot of close home games, but it's not a pretty slate there for the Gamecocks.
They play in it's a tough league, you know.
On Saturday they're in Gainesville. Doesn't get easier.
No. I know we'll talk about it. I mean, I thought for Florida last night that was a big win. I thought that was when I say big win, I thought it was a character building, backbone showing win for them.
Ken Palm believes South Carolina will finish 2-16 in the SEC, with two of those likely being a Texas win at home, and they went over Georgia at home. It's kind of where they have Carolina right now.
Yeah, I can see that.
With they were favored against Arkansas, and that number just keeps going down and down and down as time passes. But that's kind of where they're sitting.
I've got some thoughts about Georgia after watching a little last night, and I'm going to keep most of it to myself.
That was not a good look for them last night. We'll get into it. We'll do it now. I'm assuming Morrell was probable on the injury report last night.
I don't even look at him.
Okay. I mean, he's going to play. So
yeah.
It's.
I just don't pay much attention to that. I should, because it would be like a free little content item that I'm sure other people make content items of. Matt Morrell listed as probable or questionable, even though he plays.
Matthew Morrell is listed as probable.
Okay, so he's playing
tonight. Miles Stute is listed as out for South Carolina.
So he's not playing.
Do you know who Miles Stute is?
I do not.
I do not either. But if he's important, he's not playing tonight. Because if they say out, it's out.
Yes.
It's
well, and they're not going to the tournament, so there's no point in them manipulating. I mean, South Carolina has one path to the NCAA tournament. It's winning 5 games in 5 days in Nashville, Tennessee in March. That is their path. If they do that, if they win 5 games in a row at Bridgestone in the middle of March,
that'll be impressive.
They will go to the tournament. That is their path to the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And if they do that, that will be one hell of a story.
Vegas expecting a game in kind of the mid-60s tonight, 138.5 on your over-under for this one. But again, Ole Miss minus 4.5 there. Columbia. Tickets as low as $2 if you'd like to head to the arena tonight.
It's a great arena.
It's a good arena.
Oh, it's fantastic.
That's where Ole Miss played its NCAA tournament game against Oklahoma back in 2019.
I don't know that I'd want to live in Columbia, South Carolina, but I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I hear people slam on it all the time, but in terms of just visiting for a couple of days, I've always generally enjoyed it.
We'll get to baseball in a minute. This is a one sentence aside. I completely forgot Paul Maneri is the head baseball coach of South Carolina this year.
Yeah, I remember that.
Completely blew my mind yesterday when I went, no shit.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Just
I can see him fitting there.
Yeah, it's fine. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
The other 2 games tonight, Oklahoma 16-7, 3-7 is at Missouri, 17-6, 6-4. Mizzou favored by 9.5 tonight at home against the Sooners.
Yeah, OU feels like they're fading.
They do. And then your nightcap, Arkansas has to have this one. The LSU Tigers are in town tonight. Arkansas 14-9, 3-7. LSU 12-11, 1-9. Arkansas favored by 9.5 as well. So those 2 games, both 9.5 point spreads.
Yeah, Ole Miss people, if you say your game's a must win, no, it's not. That is a must win.
That's a must win.
That if you're looking to, you
can't lose to the Tigers at home.
If you just have to define a must win in the league, there it is. That is a must win. Yeah, I'm kind of with Mark here. I sort of love Mizzou laying the number.
Yeah,
kind of like that one. I don't hate Arkansas laying the number the way they've played lately, but LSU plays hard. LSU might hang around. OU's got some keyword.
They do
on the cusp.
They sort of get down and they go bye.
Yeah,
we'll head back.
I hadn't seen that from LSU. They keep playing.
They've had only one dud the entire year relative to their talent level, and that's when Texas came into the arena and beat them by 30. But otherwise, they've because Texas is just okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I keep watching them wanting to see more, and you want to like poke them with a stick, and it just doesn't happen.
See, Drew says Columbia is a bottom half SEC town. I never know how we're ranking that. Like, what are your?
I have a hard time ranking the cities versus the towns because they're so different.
Totally.
It's like I don't even really factor Nashville in because it's so different. I'm like, how am I comparing Nashville to Athens? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I know I hate Baton Rouge, but
I
have grown to hate Baton Rouge.
I used to love it.
I did too. The traffic, just the stuff, just awful.
Yeah.
Still got some restaurant stuff I like, but for the most part, bleh. Auburn last night, Vanderbilt gave a valiant effort, especially in the first half, only down by 2 at intermission. But Auburn did cover and win 80-68 last night at Memorial Coliseum. Johnson picks up 20 for Auburn. McLaughlin 10 and 13 for Vanderbilt. Auburn now 22-2, 10-1 in the SEC. Vanderbilt 17-7, 5-6, starting this just hellacious second half of the conference slate from a schedule standpoint. So.
I didn't watch a lot of it, but the part that I watched, Vanderbilt, I thought played hard, played well. They just weren't as good. Sometimes the better team just wins.
Including the next game I was going to mention, because Alabama looked like a wrecking ball last night in Austin against the Texas Longhorns. I didn't see any
of that one.
Alabama 103-80 against Texas on the road last night. They were up 49-31 and then outscored them by 5 in the second half. It was a clinic.
Alabama's really good. Listen, I mean, I know we didn't. It got probably a lot of people didn't see it because it was after the Ole Miss LSU game. That was one of those deals where the other night we don't give enough. We focus too much on who lost sometimes. But it was a big loss for Arkansas. It's like, yeah, but Alabama played awesome. I mean, Arkansas metrically played a really good game. They just couldn't overcome them. Alabama's legit. Legit. I mean, they are talk about ceilings, floors.
Real high.
Their ceiling's super high. I mean, it's Monday night high. Their floor's pretty high.
Bama last night goes.
There aren't many teams in the NCAA tournament first, second round that are going to be capable of beating them.
Their line last night on the road shooting 62, 59, 90.
That'll do it.
When that happens,
that'll do it.
It's over.
But I didn't see the game, so maybe they were just making really contested shots. But they create a lot of good looks.
They're my favorite team in the league when it comes to ball movement.
Yeah.
I like watching them play ball movement-wise more than anybody else.
Well, I mean, not surprisingly, it's them, Auburn, and Florida.
That's fair.
I love watching Florida play. Just love it.
They were down 2 starters last night.
That was a dirty play at the beginning of the game.
I didn't see it.
It was dirty.
Both guys okay?
They're saying Condon has an ankle sprain.
That's good news.
Yeah, for them that's great news.
Yeah.
And if you're him, I think you have to think about, hey, let's even if you miss a game or two right now, we're in good shape. They're having to decide how important is it to get a 1 as opposed to a 2.
Yeah. Because they're locked into the 2 line.
Absolutely. I mean, barring just
falling off the clinic. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think they're capable of that.
So they're down 1 at the break last night in Starkville, 34-33 at the break, and then they put up at least a 17-0 run. It might have even been bigger. I saw 17-0.
I would have killed to have been in that locker room because I have a feeling that was, hey, they went after us. Yeah. That was cheap.
So
let's take a moment. Let's get ourselves together, and let's go beat somebody's ass. That's what that felt like.
And they outscored them by 14 in the second half, but it was way worse than that. State made a couple shots late, and whatever.
Weren't they up like 25 at one point?
Did you see the and again, everybody has the crowd shot. Did you see the crowd shot last night? It was like a guy looking like he was on his couch. He was just like laid back, belly kind of hanging out, whatever. And the woman sitting next to him, I do not know the affiliation. She was knitting. Looked like she was knitting a sock or like some sort of arm cuff or something.
Yeah.
Looked like it had a Mardi Gras theme. But yeah, she was just knitting in the stands in Starkville. 81-68 your final. 21-3, 8-3 for the Gators. 17-7, 5-6 for the Bulldogs as they head to Oxford on Saturday afternoon.
Again, this story is more about Florida than it is about State.
Yeah, State lost to a good team.
State lost to an elite team that was coming off of a huge road win, probably weren't completely dialed in, down a starter, lose a starter in the opening minute of the game, I think.
Yeah, Condon goes down 1 minute in.
And they got to the half, had a chance to regroup, discuss what had happened, and then night. They're legit. I said this, their ceiling's Final Four Monday night, period. They could win the whole thing.
Grind pointing this out. Alabama and Auburn play on Saturday. First matchup between a 1 and 2 in SEC basketball history. Also, the first time 1 and 2 have met in the regular season since Memphis versus Tennessee in 2008, which was Cal versus Pearl.
Yeah, I remember that game.
So, little fun fact for you there. Let's see. Speaking of them, let me check my timer. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I agree with Grind. He says they play a very attractive brand of basketball. That's the good word for it.
Yeah,
it's very aesthetically pleasing.
And then not a ton to talk about from this game other than Butler getting hurt again, but big win for Kentucky last night. They sweep the season series against the Volunteers, 75-64 at Rupp. They were up 33-26 and then outscored by 4 in the second half. Tennessee got 16-9 from Milicic, but
it's almost like it's really hard to consistently win in the league.
It is.
It's almost like the only team.
And if you're talented, consistently lose, you're gonna win. You're gonna pull one out.
It's almost like there's a clear delineation of where we're starting to get lines. It's Alabama, Auburn, Florida in some order. And then there's a fall off. It's not huge. I mean, I think A&M's terrific. I think Tennessee's very good. I think Mizzou's good. But they're not those three teams. Alabama, Auburn, Florida, when they're on, there's not a whole lot you can do. Alabama, Auburn, is that game in Tuscaloosa? I think that's going to be a hell of a game.
I don't know.
I don't know where it is. I want to say it's in Tuscaloosa, but I could be completely wrong.
You got a 50% chance.
Yeah.
You do. Get a shot.
Flip a coin.
Probably got a shot to get that.
And they'll play again because they haven't played yet. They'll play twice. I would bet on a season split.
Yeah, take the home team on Saturday.
Yeah.
Be a crazy environment, though.
Sure.
Be fun. 3:00 start time for that one. So, one more thing on that. We'll talk about A&M and Georgia. As we said, one more game coming up there in a second. Before we do that, let me tell you quickly about the Declaration of Independence Center for the Study of American Freedom. It's located on the Ole Miss campus. They explore and examine the fundamental and founding principles of the United States of America. They offer an academic minor in freedom studies and scholarship opportunities for Ole Miss students that bring lots of networking potential. To learn more, contact Stephen Scoltetti or Rankin Sherling at freedom@olemiss.edu or visit independence.olemiss.edu.
We're brought to you by John Edwards, Regency Travel Incorporated in Memphis. John's part of Virtuoso. It's a worldwide network of travel partners that allow him to supply his clients with added values, unique benefits simply not available to other travelers. Get in touch with him if you're planning a trip that you want to create a lifetime of unique memories. Just give him some parameters, give him a budget. He'll give you some options that you probably won't find on your own. And no, you don't have to live in or near Memphis to take advantage of his services. 901-494-3387 or send him an email at j.edwards@regencytravel.net. Get the beautiful, healthy smile you deserve at Corinth Dental. Dr. Bubba McQueen, Dr. Jenny Beth Hendrick are devoted to restoring and enhancing the natural beauty of your smile using conservative, state-of-the-art procedures that will result in a beautiful, long-lasting smile. From routine checkups to advanced treatment, including, implants and Invisalign, Corinth Dental is here to help you achieve your smile goals. Schedule your appointment today and take the first step toward a better version of yourself. It's corinthdental.com. Are you a displaced corporate executive wanting to put your career in your own hands? Are you an experienced entrepreneur looking to diversify? Either way, Andy Ludicky can help. He owns multiple franchises and businesses. He uses his expertise to help others find their American dream through a very thorough and free consultation process. So call Andy. Put your life and your career in your own hands. It's 100% free. You've got nothing to lose. It's myperfectfranchise.net, Andy at myperfectfranchise.net, or 404-973-9901. We're also brought to you by Parish Brewing Company. Their goal is to make awesome craft brewed beer, and they do it. They make absolutely fantastic beer no matter the season. They've got Dr. Juice, Ghost in the Machine, Envy, Canebrake, and more. Wherever you get your beer, if it's at the grocery store, the bar, restaurants, if you see Parrish, give it a shot. You won't regret it. Parrish Brewing Company.
Podcast brought to you by NeSpark, the fastest, most reliable fiber internet option available. Whether you're streaming the Rebels or connecting with family and friends, they offer both residential and business packages with speeds of 2 gigabits. That's up from 1 gigabit. To learn more, register for service, visit nespark.com. NeSpark, get connected. Stay local. Let's see. Had one more game. So Georgia A&M last night, game you were alluding to a few minutes ago. Georgia is up 32-23 at the break.
Mhm.
You're up 9. You have a chance to get that win that puts you completely back sort of okay at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And just got bombed in the second half.
Mhm.
46-21 after intermission, losing 69-53 in a game that really wasn't even close at the halfway mark of the second half. So, tough one. Tough look from Ike last night.
My mom, when I was younger, words that I often didn't live by.
But you think they have some value in some...
She said this all the time. And, she would say, if you don't have something nice to say about someone, just don't say anything at all. And I'm going to take that advice. It's good advice. It's good advice. Sometimes it's best just to keep your thoughts to yourself. Just don't say what you're thinking. Just let it go. Let it fade in your own mind where it is never recorded anywhere else. Be nice. My mom used to say that, be nice. Sometimes she would say before a football game, before a baseball game, be nice. And I would think that's not how it works. And this is one of those deals where I think this is be nice.
This is kind of, I knew it was bad, but I wasn't watching a ton of this. I will say I had stopped by this point.
You weren't listening to me. You didn't hear
I
what
heard
I just
you,
said.
but look, I got 40 minutes to fill. I got to say something. So here we go. I'm pointing out to anyone who didn't watch it just where this thing went. So again, they were up 9 at the break. Georgia had 32 points starting the second half. When they scored their 40th point, meaning when they got their 8th point in the second half, do you know how much time was on the clock left in the second half?
I don't.
7 minutes and 48 seconds.
Sometimes it takes a while to score.
They scored. It took. So let's go 1 second behind that. They scored 6 points in the second half in the first 12 of the second half. 6 points.
I think judging a basketball team by what they do in 12 minutes and 12 seconds.
Because there was stoppage. There was an official TV timeout at 7:48, and it was 53-38 Aggies. So they had gone on a
24-0 run. Is that right?
No, Georgia scored 6.
Okay. So it was a 30-6 run. Something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, but that's right. 30-6.
30-6. It happens.
Yeah, 30-6.
Sometimes you just have a hard time putting the ball in the basket.
And from there, just Georgia now 4-8 and in deep trouble. It just doesn't. Yeah. I don't like their chances at this point.
No, I think they're in trouble. These things work themselves out. I don't know what it did to their net. Probably nothing.
Yeah, it didn't hurt them net-wise.
I
guess game control was a thing. But
it's going to be really interesting to see what happens with all that. But I think on these bottom teams, you are starting to sense who has some momentum and who doesn't.
35 in the net.
Stayed there.
Not updated. Sorry.
Oh.
Not updated. I apologize.
Okay.
Let's go to see. Georgia hosts Missouri on Saturday.
I'll say it's must win.
Yeah, we're must win.
You're there.
You can stamp it. You can put it on there on that one.
Don't win that one. You're probably just this isn't going to work out.
And yes, Auburn, Alabama is in Tuscaloosa at 3:00 ESPN.
Got it right.
Coleman Coliseum.
Yeah, I will get to the arena early and just watch Alabama Auburn. and then cover Ole Miss State. I'll beat the crowd. I won't have to deal with all of the people backing up into their parking spot. I'll just beat it.
Doors, I'm curious, who was like number 1, number 2, number 3? It says MSN did a French fry top 12 and McDonald's wasn't number 1. So what was the?
Ooh.
I like French fries, but I'm not married to them. But I'm curious what the list is.
I would not be able to weigh in on this at all.
I mean, I assume Five Guys is very high because they're hand cut. You can they have the potatoes. I'm assuming that's the case.
I don't know that I've ever had them.
I know In-N-Out gets a horrific reputation, but I've only had In-N-Out like twice in my life, so
Same.
I don't remember the fry situation.
I think I've only had In-N-Out once.
Cane's was 3. Okay. Somebody says Wendy's fries, legit. Wendy's has decent fries. I don't know how to compare waffle fries though. Much of Chick-fil-A, but I get it's still a fry, but it's a different experience.
I'll give you a hot take on them. I don't think Chick-fil-A fries are very good.
I don't ever get blind pig fries. I always get the barbecue chips. So I don't know. I've never had fries at Blind Pig as many times as I've been. I'll either do that or we'll get like an app of pork rinds and that'll just be my side item where I don't eat anything else with the sandwich.
I typically like their pork rinds.
The pork rinds are good.
Very good.
Yeah.
I've had their fries, but I
don't remember them.
I can't,
if I've had them.
It's not what stood out.
Yeah, I don't think I've had them. Checkers number 1.
Yeah, I've never had those.
I don't think I ever have.
No,
sure. Checkers in Oxford for a while, but I never went.
I don't know that I've ever been to Checkers.
I don't think I have. Okay. Yeah, I'm curious at the list there. Five Guys number 5. That's probably too low. McDonald's fries have sugar on them. That's why you guys like them.
Yeah, I've told you this. I haven't had McDonald's. I may have had got a sausage biscuit there once in the last 15 years, but I have not had a burger or anything from McDonald's in at least 20 years.
Waffle fry, crinkle cut, steak fry. Where are you at?
I like
a traditional crinkle cut.
I like the crinkle cut with the seasoned salt on it.
Yeah.
I mean, I do like that. I mean, I like French fries. I try to avoid them because they're not.
I don't like shoestring, like the
me.
really thin fries. I want a little substance.
You want some potato,
some girth. Yeah, I think so. Auburn originally planned to build a new basketball practice facility, but instead they're renovating Neville to the tune of $9 million. They're titling it Neville Arena Team Support Improvements. That was creative. And will renovate 22,500 square feet within the arena, providing enhancements to the existing practice gym, scholarship lobby, upgrades, and relocated and enlarged team meeting and office spaces within the men's and women's basketball suites. Why the shift? As you can imagine, you can guess the shift. John Cohen, start quote, "There was a time when facilities were the number one priority in terms of recruitment of student athletes. Now I think it's very safe to say there are different priorities. I would say that facilities probably isn't number 1 or number 2 at this point. Are they important? Yes. Are we proud of our facilities at Auburn? Yes. Are we thankful for the people, the donors who have made these fabulous facilities happen? Absolutely. But the world's changed. We have to prepare. We have to prepare for the inevitable, which is NIL deals, amounts, payments. There's no question it's going to take center stage. If you went to the NFL right now and you took the top 20 to 30 highest paid players, not one of them is going to say, yeah, I'm making this amount and I've made more than this guy, but he got a nicer indoor practice facility than I do. So I'm going to give back the $5 million because I want a nice facility. That's not how it works. Not in a free market. That's really not how it should work. John Cohen, Auburn Athletics Director.
All right.
I don't even need a comment. I'm just reading the news.
I mean,
I'm just reading the news.
They practice at Neville the whole time?
It appears that whatever they have is at Neville.
Okay.
Again, maybe Grind can answer that.
They have a great environment at Neville. I'll give them that. It's fantastic. It's obviously very loud and tough place for opponents to play.
I'm still waiting for schools when they have to make extra cuts for them to take away the sports-specific trainers and things like that. That's going to be the next thing. Mike Bianco's been on that for a while now, is that's going to be the first place the players are hurt without realizing they're hurt.
Yes.
I mean, take Ole Miss baseball, for example, as we transition in a minute. They had shin splints out of the wazoo until they got a sport-specific trainer to work with the repetitiveness of baseball that is completely different than your general sports training.
Yes, you train differently to play basketball than you do to
Yes.
play baseball. It's different sports.
Yes. In every way.
Yes. The way you wrap an ankle for soccer is different than the way you wrap an ankle for football. It's different. Those are different sports. But look, if you're going to give the players all this money, it's got to come from somewhere.
So they scrapped the indoor and said, or sorry, the practice facility. You wouldn't have an outdoor basketball facility.
But you could, but it would be kind of wasteful.
It would. Just a street court.
I mean, you could put a court down. It was probably warped when it got wet the first time, but it looked fantastic at the beginning.
You can make it in some other materials. We got city parks all over the place that use concrete and different things.
Yeah,
it works.
Sure.
Lane was a basketball coach. He'd never use that thing outside. Not once. It could be 80. Too cold. I guess just quickly, not a ton here, but sorry, there was a ton. We'll get to over the next few days. Ole Miss held its baseball media day yesterday. No surprises from a lineup standpoint. They're going to go with Elliott on Friday against Arizona. They're going to go with Riley Maddox on Saturday against Texas, and they're going to go with Mason Nichols on Sunday against Clemson. 3 players who were on the 22 team, 3 old guys, 4-year guys as starting pitchers, have played a lot. Mike is making a big movement to be as experienced as possible. He had multiple quotes yesterday about how obviously talent wins, but experienced talent wins way more in college baseball, and sometimes experience can even offset young talent, which is true.
Oh, I think it's where the sport's headed, especially if this JUCO thing holds. I think it's where it's headed. You're going to have old baseball players relatively.
So age matters. They're going to go with that. From a starting lineup, he said there'll be 3 different starting lineups the first 3 games. They're going to play a lot of people. They're going to try some different things. But it sounded like an opening day lineup will consist of the 3 transfer outfielders that they picked up. Mitch Sanford from UNO, but he played 2 years at LSU prior to that. Isaac Humphrey from Louisville was team captain for the Cardinals last year. And then Ryan Moorman from Illinois. He hit 19 home runs for the Illini last year. Third base is going to be Luke Hill, moving over from the middle infield this year. Owen Pano, one of the top incoming freshmen in the conference, will play shortstop. So Ole Miss is hoping to have a 3-year starter at shortstop the next 3 seasons. Sounds like Braden Randall will play on opening day at second base, but that at some point in the weekend, they're going to move Luke Hill over to second and let him play some second as well to get some other guys at third. Will Furness will play at first base. He took his dad's number this year. He's changed to number 36. So Will doing that, and then Campbell Smithwick will start at catcher on Friday. Austin Foley will probably also start at catcher at some point on the weekend. The transfer from Kentucky. So that from a starting lineup standpoint, and they're going to play games. Scoreboard business. They're going to do 56 of them, and we'll see where they're sitting at the end of the 30 that matter. So anything that Mike said or did not say yesterday is irrelevant once they start playing games. I think that's fair to say. They lost a lot, including out of the portal. Andrew Fisher is playing, I think, first base for Tennessee this year. Liam Dole is Tennessee's Friday night starter. And then Wes Mendez went to Florida State. So you had a lot of portal losses in that world. They replaced them with some people that make sense to what they're trying to do. They're trying to be really fast. They're trying to be good defensively. They're trying to clean up just fundamentals, if you will. They were a bad fundamental baseball team last year. And then he made 2 huge changes. We're going to see what the Mangrum thing is. What I am interested in with Mangrum is how fast you can implement these changes and how fast you force changes versus letting something kind of be a work in progress as the season goes on. And because I heard from Elliott and Maddox yesterday of I'm getting more comfortable. It's getting there, still same days, but it wasn't that it was a finished product in any way because it just simply can't be. He's only been here since the summer.
Yeah, no, it's going to be his biggest adjustment, right? Because
he's had years.
When you're in the professional, we've talked about this before, but it bears repeating. When you are in a professional organization and you take some 19, 20-year-old kid and you're like, hey, you know what? We're going to work on your release point. We're going to work on maybe moving you on the rubber a little bit. We're gonna emphasize this pitch over this one. We're gonna do this. And hey, by the way, we're going to send you to A-ball.
Mm-hmm.
And don't worry about results. Focus on process. We'll worry about results down the road. But right now, focus on process. And that's what the kid does. He goes down to A-ball and he locks in, takes his time, gets feedback. It's very calm. And over time, the improvement either comes or it doesn't. But there is a lot of runway. You don't have that now. You're in a completely different environment. There's probably not a message board at Myrtle Beach going, I can't believe we're down 2 in the second. I mean, fire somebody, damn it.
Yeah.
But that will be the case on Friday. It just will. I'm not making fun of fans. It just is what it is. And if you get to March and you're 2-4 in the SEC, everybody's going to be losing their minds. If you're at Myrtle Beach and you're 4 games under 500 on June 1st, nobody cares.
But they're making pretty substantial changes. Riley Maddox has gone to developing a 4-seam in the offseason. They've raised his release point. Hunter Elliott's got a lot of lower half stuff that he's working on. They've talked about nickels a lot. They've increased velocity with multiple players. So there's a lot of change that's happening, and you might not see that change this week. This is very much a, hey, you got at least 4 more weeks before you need this fine-tuned in any way. I'm just trying to make the postseason. That's where you're trying to get. So I'm not telling you not to be mad. I'm just giving you the setup as it's sitting.
Feels like you're telling me I can't get mad and demand someone be fired on Friday afternoon.
You can demand whatever you like. I mean, it's fine.
I mean, I've got multiple
Keith will get an email at some point on Friday, I'm sure.
I've got multiple questions in my mailbag that I'm going to answer here in a little bit that are about
firing Mike.
Oh. You know, is it cost efficient? Is it whatever? The answer is it cost efficient is no. There's your answer.
Doesn't mean it is or is not happening, but it's not.
But the answer to does this make financial sense? No, it does not.
But where I was going is Mike said all the right things yesterday. Completely out of Mangram's way. 100% of everything to do with pitching, to do with Joel. Calling pitches, pulling pitchers, everything.
Yeah.
Mike said in the fall he intentionally stayed almost completely away because he didn't even want to be a presence that potentially stunted something. He goes, because if I'm teaching it a different way than he's teaching it and I'm around, just get out of the way. Just stop.
Yeah.
Let it do it. He goes, I didn't watch bullpens. I did nothing. I just stayed away. He admitted fault with the roster last year, said they should have brought another catcher out, that it was unfair to Smithwick to put him into a position he was not ready for, but they didn't go get another catcher like they should have. He had talking points, and he hit every one. Now, we'll see. It's a very tough league.
Yeah.
It's a hellaciously tough league. It's a hellaciously tough weekend. Arizona is replacing their entire pitching staff. They need to win Friday. I think just for I mean, it's one game. I'm not making anything out of it, but you know, to get Hunter back, okay. They miss his edge. You know, I wrote that story on him a couple weeks ago where he said that because he wasn't on the field, he felt like we couldn't say much and couldn't lead, and he wasn't a part of it.
Sure.
Having a guy like that has been through it, is just a complete competitor in every sense of the word, will help this baseball team. To have him out there as a part of this club, you know, somebody, I think it was Catch yesterday, that said, what have you done just from your competitiveness? And he goes, I play cards, I play ping pong, I play anything to try to feed the competitiveness because I couldn't be on a baseball field the last 2 years. He's confident. He's frankly borderline arrogant, which is what you want out of your best player. I thought his presence was good for them yesterday, just hearing him talk. And you don't realize, I mean, you know how long he's been gone, but you don't always realize it necessarily in the context of truth is Will Furness, who is a junior at Ole Miss this year, goes, I've only seen him pitch on TV outside of one start against Delaware when we were my very first day. I mean, he's got a lot of players on this team that have only watched him in highlights or on television from 2022, even though he's been on the team now for 4 years.
I mean, he's basically been gone 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Frankly, I'm surprised he's there.
He and Maddox both said that they weren't getting the big deals and that when Ole Miss hired Mangrum, they got a year of not just a minor league pitching coordinator, but a very top-level one. So why not come back and let him do it? And you didn't feel like your development was being impeded in any way.
Yeah.
That you could do it here. I think had Mike made a bad hire, I don't think any of those 3 starting pitchers for this weekend are here this week or right now. I think they all would have taken whatever the deals were
and just
that were
started
offered at that point.
Yeah.
Maddox would have been a day 3 pick. Hunter was picked by the Dodgers in whatever 19th or 20th round.
Yeah.
And Nichols could have signed or done something at that point. They need to be better defensively, and then they've got to be efficient with their lineup. I want to see kind of where they find their best 9, just from the standpoint of being efficient and figuring out where you can have a hole here or a hole there, but still be okay on the big picture. So we'll have coverage. Riley Maddox's story up this morning. I'm probably working on something a little larger on Smithwick for tomorrow, and then we'll lead into Friday in Arlington for the 3:00 start for the first game against Arizona. So just quick.
You head there tomorrow, correct?
Tomorrow, that is correct.
Yep.
Yep. It is cold, but it's a dome. Be all right.
Yes.
They're going to close the roof.
Probably still be cold in the building.
We've talked about this. A lot of times you have to have a certain number of people to turn all the heat and everything on, so it will still be chilly, most likely in that dome. It's not.
You should take a jacket.
Yeah. It's not going to be 82 and nice in there. That's not how that works. So
82 would be warm.
I'm sorry, it's true.
68.
I think the Superdome's always set on 68 or 72. It's 68 or 72.
I've gotten really cold in the Superdome before.
Yeah. Well, we're up high in Antarctica up there, so.
But even when it was in the old press box, I can remember getting cold in
really?
The dome. Yeah.
Yeah, the coldest I've ever been maybe at a sporting event was Minneapolis, because it was coming a blizzard and they couldn't turn the heaters on, and we were freezing. It was so cold.
Coldest I've ever been at a sporting event, other than high school soccer, was Baton Rouge.
Baton Rouge,
absolutely,
of all places.
Absolutely, Auburn LSU, December. It was the 2001 makeup game. The wind coming off the river. Oh my God,
it was bad.
So cold. So cold. I was so freaking cold.
And you don't expect that. That was very much like my shock level when I did not listen to Jeffrey that time. I was in Long Beach and that marine layer came off at night, and you went, oh God.
Oh yeah.
You're thinking, oh, I'm in Southern California. No, you're freezing. You're off.
No, I mean, I've been to a couple of Giants games in San Francisco where it got cold at night.
So, all right, we will come back in a second. First, let me tell you about the men's clinic, Madison and Brandon. That's themanthing.com. Make an appointment today at either location. Their mission is simple. They want their patients to remain as healthy and as strong as possible throughout the aging process. They optimize testosterone, improve sleep, reduce inflammation, treat insulin resistance, and facilitate a healthy gut microbiome. Again, Madison, Brandon, and Madison, 601-607-7869. That's themanthing.com.
We're brought to you by Easy Hemp Co. Easy is a hemp-infused sparkling water. It's guilt-free alcohol alternative, a natural way to relax and unwind. It's all natural, made with real fruit, no added sugar, low-calorie, gluten-free. One 12-ounce can of Easy has 3 milligrams of THC. With Easy, it's easy to avoid the gummy scare, control your experience. So change the can, not the ritual. It's easy. Visit easyhempco.com to view the Easy Finder to find Easy near you. Easy is Farm Bill compliant with hemp derived from THC CBD extracts. Easy is for people 21 and older. Enjoy responsibly. I mentioned the mailbag. I'll have that to you later today. It's brought to you by Art Hayes of Sotheby's International Realty. Are you thinking of making a move? Put the power of Sotheby's to work for you. As a licensed agent with Sotheby's and a supporter of all things Ole Miss, Art can help you buy or sell in your hometown or anywhere in the world at no charge to you. Seriously. So call and ask Art how. 612-805-5929 or email Art at arthur.hayes@lakesmn.com.
Let's see what we got. Saints did announce Kellen Moore as their next head football coach. So there's that. Salary cap problems, aging roster, no quarterback. Youngest head coach in the NFL active right now.
You're only $54 million over the cap. You're fine.
Is it just 54?
I read 54.
Oh, we made some moves then.
Yeah.
We've done some finagling because it was worse than that.
I mean, it's probably an organization out there somewhere that's less flexible. I can't think of it now.
At the NFL level, or you just mean period?
Just in general, somewhere.
Some sports entity somewhere.
Or I just meant business.
There's a 6th level soccer club in England that probably is a little more cash strapped.
Perhaps.
Somebody Wrexham played 3 years ago.
Perhaps, yes.
You still following that at all, or did you lose interest?
Wrexham?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That whole deal.
No.
The Rise was fun.
You know,
but then it was kind of like you're just kind of buying it, and I don't.
I told you about this. We were talking about something completely different. The challenge for me, and maybe this will change a little bit as I get into a new life cycle, is finding time. Just time.
Well, and then wanting to spend the little time you have doing whatever we're talking about.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, if you get done working at 8:30 at night and you go, hey, I got an hour and a half before I go to bed. Do I want to do? What am I doing with that time?
right. Like I know Tyler sometimes probably gets frustrated with me because he watches a lot of sports. Sometimes I finish a day and I get to a place and that's just not where my interest is. And so I don't want to give that but even if I did, I don't have that time or like a baseball game that starts at 8:30 or a basketball game that starts at 8:30. I don't even want to get started on it because I don't want to get into it and end up being awake at 11 something.
Oh, yeah.
And so I just don't start on it. If I watch the first half and it draws me in and I try to go to bed, I'm still thinking, I wonder who's winning that Nuggets-Lakers game.
I do get some texts sometimes at like 9 or 9:15. Like, hey, you watching? I was like, I'll check the box score in the morning.
Yeah.
I'll read up on it. Be fine. Like, I'll get enough.
I mean, so
I don't need to see the end of Missouri, Oklahoma.
No.
It'll be all right.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, I and sometimes even if I did, I just simply don't have the time to do it. And so I don't know where that went. Or maybe I've just my priorities, it's probably that. My priorities have changed.
There's a big thread on the board this morning about fitness trackers. You still doing the Aura?
Mhm.
Or are you off on all of that now? You check it every day?
Yeah.
Is it affecting you mentally with what it says?
No.
You don't get like a placebo effect where you go, oh, it told me I slept bad, so now I feel like crap for the day.
No, sometimes I'm curious to see. I know I slept bad. It'll
How
tell
bad
me,
was it?
Yeah, how bad was my sleep? Or if I think I slept well, it'll tell me that I did. No, it's kind of confirmation.
Yeah, I get
of
that.
Thoughts.
That's what I do with the Garmin
Yeah.
for the most part. I was writing on the board this morning. HRV, the heart rate variability, has been one of my best indicators on sick or something being off because it'll fall 20, 30 points. And I go, that's odd. And then there is a problem. And that's why that's the case.
Yeah, I haven't even checked mine yet today.
Yeah, I had like a 96 heart rate variability last night. I was pleased. What did I have here? There we go. Did you get your flu shot? It was the
No.
15th.
I haven't gotten a flu shot in years.
I haven't either. The worst flu outbreak as far as people sick and severe illness in 15 years at least this year. Saying that maybe it's strain related, maybe not, but that it's a really, really bad one.
Yeah, we had a family friend pass away over the weekend, and they were
Flu related?
no. I think he had a heart attack, but he was not feeling well, and they were trying to find a hospital room for him in Little Rock, and it was difficult because they were
really
so full because of the flu.
Really?
Yeah.
Real quick, we'll do this to close. Lenardi ranking the power conferences this season. It's not a question of who's number one. I'll get there in a second, but this is from a projected bid seed standpoint. I'll give you some idea of where everybody's sitting. They were ranking the ACC number 5 out of the 5 power conferences, a place they are not used to being. They are projecting 3 bids for the ACC this season.
Yeah.
Only 3.
Right. Yep.
Average seed 6.3 too. Not exactly way up the thing. And that's with Duke sitting up there. So think where it is without that.
Yep.
The Big East number 4. They're projecting 4 bids for the Big East. An average seed of 5.4.
So you're getting into my math here.
I am. I'm opening up a lot of at-larges when I'm doing this. Because usually the ACC 7, 8, whatever the number is. Big 10, 10 bids.
Yep.
They're a power conference. Average seed 5.5. They're doing well.
Yes.
No problems there. Big 12, 8 bids. 5.2 on their projected seed at this point. And then the SEC, 13 bids. They are still today projecting all 13 teams that we were talking about to get in. Average seeds 5.2 out of 13.
Yeah,
teams.
it's broken record stuff, and some
yeah.
of this will maybe sort itself out. Some of it may not. I don't know. I mean, I've watched this.
They currently project 3 1s out of the SEC, 2 2s, and at least 4 more teams that will play the openers in white jerseys.
Yeah. Again,
That's 9 teams seated in the top half of the national bracket.
You have to put 68 teams in the bracket. 68. That's the number. And so do the math, because there's just math. Go do the math. And if the ACC doesn't get many bids and the Big East doesn't get many bids, well, then those bids have to come from somewhere. And it's going to be what's really interesting. Do you take a 110 net over a 30-something net because that team won more games? Or do you go, well, no, we're not going to punish this SEC team. We're not going to punish Georgia, Arkansas, Oklahoma for playing a brutal schedule. We're going to reward them for it. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, but it's really interesting.
So a couple stats here on this. The 6 SEC teams on the top 4 lines of the bracket. So that's everybody through Kentucky right now. Ole Miss just missing it because they're a 5 seed in the latest projection.
Okay.
They entered the week with a combined record of 45-23 in quad 1 games. 16 of the 23 losses are against each other.
Of course.
So 7 losses in quad 1 for that group outside of playing each other at this point. Lenardi closing is, I think, where you would be right now. He says all that's left for the an SEC team to win the national championship for the first time since Kentucky in 2012. If you want to take the field, go ahead. I'll take the SEC. If it went Lee or field.
Agreed.
At this point.
If I get SEC versus the field, so I get Alabama, Auburn, and Florida?
You do.
Sign me up.
Yeah. Take Duke and Marquette and all and go on about your business.
I mean, here's what's coming in March, though, and everybody needs to prepare yourself. If the SEC gets 13 bids, let's just use that number. Lenardi's going with 13. We'll go 13.
Yes, and he says Arkansas is very fringy for the 14.
Of course. So who's 13?
I'm assuming Georgia. In that
okay, let's say Georgia. If Georgia gets whacked in round 1, the national media is going to just have a field day. That's what's coming. So prepare yourself. They are going to treat you like you are – they don't like you.
You're going to get football hate.
You're going to get football hate.
You're going to get football hate.
Yep, it's coming. So if that is the kind of thing that bothers you, mute the TV because it's coming.
I don't think you have to worry about it. I think they're going to win a lot of games.
I do too.
I just think they're going to
roll. I think the league's going to win a lot of games.
Travis Kelce going to retire? I don't think so.
I don't know. I mean, you watch some of the lack of almost effort on Sunday, and you kind of wonder. He looks old,
35, I think.
But I don't know. I don't know what's in someone's
heart.
Seriously.
Yeah, I know.
Can you walk away from football? Are you good with it? All the Britney stuff, not Britney, the Taylor stuff.
Close enough.
It's all the same. I don't know. I don't know what does he want to do? What is their situation? What's real? What's not? I don't know. Beats me.
Okay.
What do you think?
I think he comes back. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think he's done.
Ravage took the
Did he really say that?
Apparently he said it, and it's like reading off the notes, and the league is trolling Archie Miller.
They're 82-82 because that's how it works.
Yeah, that's I mean, Ole Miss and South Carolina are going 1-1 tonight.
They are.
LSU, Arkansas,
guaranteed.
They're going 1-1 tonight. I lock it down. And so, the league is 3 games tonight. The league's going 3-3 tonight, boys.
Yes.
I mean, that's what's happening. So
that's funny.
I think he said it.
Okay. All right. 6 o'clock tonight, Columbia, South Carolina, Colonial Life Center, Rebels and Gamecocks. Again, 4.5 point favoring the Rebels tonight in that one. RebelGrove.com, MPW Digital, and we will talk to you again very soon.